Hello. Today we are talking about cold therapy, cold immersion, cryotherapy. There are many different ways to express what it is, but in the end, it's using cold, the temperature of cold, as a way to recalibrate you, reboot you, find a way that is going to help you. And it seems a little inappropriate that I'm doing this by my fireplace. However, I use cold therapy every day. I have an actual freezer that I have cold water in, and it is right beside my hot tub, so I tend to do hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. But there are moments where I just use cold. And my experience from this, for those of you that are new to me, I am 17-ish years in as a sport therapist, a sport massage therapist, and multidimensional therapist, where I worked with Hockey Canada for six and a half years. I work with many NHL players and work with many elite performers, if you will. I work with Cirque du Soleil as well, which they would call themselves an artist. But anyways, cold therapy, I want to dial this in for you. So cold therapy has been around for years. So I have known about it for over 17 years. And it was actually brought forward to me in my first year of college. And for me, right away, I could just feel how it shifted me. Not just on a physiological level, but I felt how it shifted my mind, how it shifted my energy. Not shifting my energy away from my body, but really it brings your energy into your organs, essentially. This gut, the primal organs that we need, that are the systems in which we run off of. Our circulatory system, our lymph system, our musculoskeletal system, all of these different systems that all operate from many different things, but really the nervous system, and then that is orchestrating many different things. But for me, the nervous system is activated, awake and aware, and alert, essentially the first moment we take our first breath. I believe that's when our spirit comes within us. But anyways, when we are spirited and we have this energetic current within us, we have this nervous system. And this nervous system is supporting us in many ways. It's supporting us in rest, digest. It's supporting us in act, in the actions really that we take. But anyways, cold therapy. There's many different ways to use it. A lot of you are used to using it with an actual cold tub. When I worked with Hockey Canada, that's what we did. That was my job, was a part of while the players were on the ice practicing or in a game. It was my job to get the cold tubs ready and make sure that they were the right temperature for the players. And it was interesting for me what I noticed. And what I noticed was a lot of players only wanted to submerge their lower body. A lot of players would talk the entire time they were in there. Because a lot of the time, especially when you're traveling, the cold tub was in the same room as the therapy room. Sometimes it was in another room. But what I've learned from my own experience, because I use it, I am not such an elite athlete anymore. I do play hockey, but I'm not pursuing it at the level where I am creating so much inflammation in my body because of the demand of that contract, relax, that push, pull, the agility, the speed, the power, all of these things, and how you're using it over time accumulates stress, which accumulates inflammation. which really starts sending maybe altered signals to the nervous system. And the nervous system doesn't always know when to kind of constrict and bring all that fluid back to the core to be able to be metabolized and for it to be useful. Sometimes it creates more inflammation, especially if what I'm finding is the general athlete that is not the elemental athlete is in their mind so much. They're not really in their body. So the most beautiful gift that you have with cold therapy is for you to use it as a tool to come back in to the body, come back into this resource. It doesn't matter where your mind wants you to go if your body is not able to keep up. So we must respect the body. So we use cold as a way. If you were to use it for about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, there's many different studies out there where it's just a quick dip and then you're out. You're primarily communicating to the nervous system. So the nervous system is your skin. Your skin is derived of the nervous system. And when our skin and our nervous system is like, ooh, that's cold, what happens is you get this a little bit of constriction of capillaries. Okay. You get this quick reflex of bringing the blood inward, bringing the blood away from the muscles, but it's not so hormetic, meaning you haven't put yourself there long enough for your body to really go through a full response. So there are some players that would use a quick cold dip prior to a game to initially get them in their body, but also this centered state, awake state. So they're looking to get that. But what a lot of players don't realize they're doing is they're putting themselves through breath work, because whenever you go into the cold right away, it's like, so you're focusing on your breath. So you think you're getting it primarily from the cold therapy, but it really is also this breath work. It's putting you right away into an activated state of breath work. If you were to just sit here, I'll get everyone to do it, whether you're driving or not. If you were to just sit where you're at and go into a breath where it's in and out through the mouth rapidly fast, where it's notice how your energy comes here. Or even if it's a quick feel how it shifts your energy. So what a lot of players don't realize is their body wants to do this breath work and their body is going into this state. But when you're using cold therapy for post-game, post-practice, two things I would be very aware of. One thing first is, when are you needing your body to be on again? And the reason I ask this is because if you go in for 5 minutes to say 5 to 10 minutes / some players will push it to 15. When you start to push it beyond, you're getting your body into this hormetic phase where essentially you're altering your hormones. You're altering the hormones in your body to put you into a recovery phase. Okay? So when you're using it at about 10 minutes or more, you're going into this recovery, restorative, regenerative phase. And if it takes you maybe a little bit deeper down that route and you actually have an early game the next day at like 11, it's not always so helpful, because you go home and you go to bed and it actually has decreased your nervous system firing a little too much. But everyone is very different, so you would have to tune into that. But if, say, you had a practice the next day and you could choose to be about 80% instead of 100%, because when it comes to the nervous system, you can only trick it so much. And there is a point where we just are in a healing recovery, regenerative zone, which means our blood is not in our muscles, it's not in our nervous system. Okay, so be aware of that. And the other thing is, for the athlete, I laugh because when I worked with Hockey Canada, for instance, or even other players, as I'm working with them longer, if I'm in Finland and we're there for like 2 weeks, slowly as a therapy staff, what we would start to notice, or what I would start to notice, I'll speak for myself, is that at first players are really wanting their legs worked on, they're wanting their lower body worked on, because that's the thing that really communicates to you a lot when you're on the ice. So we tend to want our legs to feel light, to feel powerful. But what you don't know as an athlete, as the driver of your vehicle, is you're not quite tuned into what we've talked about before, how our jaw even is connected to our feet, our foot mobility, which is our speed, our accuracy, our edge control. So when you do your cold therapy, what I would urge you to do is actually, you're going to go into it and you're submerging as high as you can. We have all these muscles that come up into the hairline that are a big part of our instincts. They're a big part of how we know where we are in space. So all the way up to here, and when I submerge, I actually try to submerge my jaw. And I don't mind getting my ears in, or if I don't want to get my ears in, I'm submerging up to here. So my inner ear isn't actually underwater. And the research is to 5 minutes or more, it's between 5 and 10 minutes where you actually go into this hormetic zone where you're secreting human growth hormone and testosterone, which is what we want. We want to spur on this quick response of everything we need to regenerate, repair, rebuild. Okay? So you want to go in, you don't need to go in so long, but what I urge you to do is to come inward, to close your eyes, to submerge yourself, to have it as a mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, physiological reset. And your intention is to sink. To sink. Hairline is in, you are here, you are closing your eyes. Your hands can stay out. If your hands are cold, then you are cold. So if you are someone that really, it's a challenge to tolerate the cold, keep your hands out. Close your eyes, and as soon as possible, come into a nasal breath. So as soon as you get in, you'll come into that breath in and out of your mouth. And I'll get everyone to do this with me. Even if you're driving, that's okay. Your eyes aren't closed, but you are breathing in and out through your mouth. So at first you go into the water and it's this like, so just following me. I'm not going to talk through it because I can't breathe and do. So you come into the water and this is, as soon as you can, come into a nasal breath in. And then if you can come into in and out through the nose, even if it's fast. And then the sooner you can come into a slow in and a slow out, slow in, slow out. You've just used your breath to down-regulate yourself, to regulate your nervous system. And it usually takes about 10 breaths or so, because it only takes about 1.5 minutes for your skin temperature to become the temperature of the water. So all of a sudden, if you can get out of your mind and you're just feeling about 1.5 minutes in, you should be able to be in a calm state where your suboccipitals are submerged, your jaw is submerged. Maybe your hands are out, or maybe you feel okay to have your hands in. And you come into your breath, and when you are there, you're feeling the air come in and out. You can really tune into the felt sense of the buoyancy in the water because you feel your body rising and lowering. And while you're there and you start to gain that calm state, you might shift your tongue forward, allow your jaw to relax even more, and feel how much easier the air can come in and out. And you might even slow your breath in and take a little bit of a deeper breath in and out. And every breath you're coming in. And if it's okay for you to submerge your ears and go under so that you're submerging a big part of your face too, you'll be able to hear your heart beat. And as you're hearing your heartbeat and the air is flowing in and the air is flowing out, you'll feel your heartbeat regulating downward. And you'll feel yourself coming into this calm state. And then after your 5 minutes to 10 minutes, tune in. If you're really in your body, you'll know when it's time to get out. There's a time to push it, and then there's a time where it's just an obvious, like, that's enough. And right before you go to get out, what I would urge you to do is to actually submerge your whole body, your whole face. So you would take a breath in and you'd plug your nose and you'd go underwater. And while you're there, you just tune into your heartbeat. And you're just holding your breath in. And when you're ready, you slowly submerge yourself out and you take a nice breath in and out. And then you slowly, ever so slowly, you get up and you stay within your body and your vessel. And this is where you start to, you're using cold therapy to recalibrate your body, but you're also using it to recalibrate your energetic system, your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body, your soulful body. You're using it to gain that calm present state. And when you're there, you know you are regenerating and repairing in all realms. So take it another step deeper. Tune into your body. And when you do all of this, you literally are kind of like wringing yourself out, bringing everything back to the drain, essentially, to your system to be metabolized and to remove what doesn't serve you and to retain what does serve you energetically and physically. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. Please let me know if you have any questions. This is something I'm very, very passionate about. It is needed more in this world. So please tune in and know that I'm here as a coach. I'm an elemental coach. I don't have space for too many more players or athletes, but I do have space for a couple more that want to utilize these kind of practices to come into their primal state more, to come into their state of that calm, present, instinctual athlete that knows exactly what to do and when to do it, that resides within their body versus their mind. Yeah. Okay, sweet souls, take care and yeah, have a good night. This is a long one, and if you stayed this long, thank you for your devotion to your craft and also to looking out for yourself. You're more than a player, and all of this stuff is going to really support you along the way. And for you weekend warriors out there, the ones that are tuning in that are the dads or the people that, you're just playing literally for fun, do cold therapy. Fill your bathtub up with it. Use that. Okay, we'll talk soon. Bye.